Hi, welcome everybody to Wellness Wednesday with me, Yehudis Schamroth, nurse anesthetist in the past, and in the current situation, I am a nurse that does acupuncture and Chinese medicine here in Ramat Beit Shemesh. I have a YouTube channel on RBS Acupuncture on YouTube. You can see videos of all the health topics that I've covered over the last year or so on YouTube channel, and I will post the link later on below. But on the sidebar, you'll also see my email and rbsacupuncture@gmail.com. In case you want to, from some other country, perhaps call me and ask me for some information. I'll call you, or you'll write to me. You can see my Facebook page at RBS Acupuncture. And I have a new website, which is beautiful. And if I do say so, spent a lot of time and money and brilliant people helping me. And that is, of course, rbsacupuncture.com. So today's topic is actually on juicing and microgreens, but I want to review a few things that we talked about last week because flows into so nicely to the healthy kind of eating live foods is what really this is all about. But one of my goals for saying eat local live foods is because for two reasons. One is that you want to always eat indigenous to your area. It's always the healthiest thing to do. You don't know how long something has been on a shelf or even in a truck or anything else. By the time it gets to you, all the nutrients could be kind of really diminished. And so you want to try to eat locally. That's a little bit of a macrobiotic concept, but you do, because it's a very strict way of eating, but macrobiotics only eats indigenous to the area, only to local to your area. If you lived in New York State, you would never have any, let's say, you would only eat apples and vegetables and fruits that were grown in that area, apples and pears and fruit trees, cherries and things, but you wouldn't eat any kind of citrus fruits because they're grown in other areas of America, like California or Florida. So, in fact, in Israel, we kind of have to eat that way. We can import a lot of stuff, but because we are in the Middle East, we do get a whole wide variety of different foods at the same time. So we do get a lot of citrus fruits and trees, and we have the same also kind of regular stuff like apples and oranges, or apples and pears and cherry trees also. So, but that's not what I'm talking about today. I want to share my screen again because I feel like just to review what we talked about last week, which is why we're going to eat these healthy foods, why we're eating these live foods. Okay, live foods are helpful to us, and fresh foods and fresh fruits and vegetables, because we want to eat antioxidants. And why we always hear the term antioxidant. What does that mean? So antioxidants are these foods that we can eat to help prevent a lot of cell damage in our body. Okay, there are a lot of things that we do in our lives, a lot of pollution we're exposed to, a lot of pesticides, a lot of different additives to shampoos and toxins that we're breathing in from emissions from the cars. Everything goes into our system, and then while the body is processing the regular stuff that we're eating, a lot of things called something called oxidative stress happens. Okay, oxidative stress, and that stress causes stress on our cell wall and damages the cells, and it's much more so than we've ever seen it through history that we know of. It was never studied probably, but I can just guess that my grandfather and my grandmother didn't have to worry about oxidative stress in their foods and in their air that they're breathing and their chemicals from all the different stuff in their, I don't know, products of all kinds. So, okay, so we have something called oxidative stress. And so we want to eat antioxidant foods. And the reason why we want to eat antioxidant foods is to prevent cell wall damage. Okay. So what do this is a repeat from last week, but what do these antioxidants do? Something that causes the oxidative stress is called free radicals. So the byproducts of metabolism in our bodies from whatever we're breathing in or eating in or ingesting or being exposed to will damage the cell membrane. So free radicals are floating around, punching holes in your cell membrane. And we want to eat foods that prevent that damage. So what are the foods we can eat? Most of these oxidant-rich foods are in most of the herbs and spices that we eat. Other foods high in antioxidants are a lot of fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, and chocolate, and even red wine. We talked about that last week too. Okay, remember the most prime example that I like to show of the best antioxidant fruit especially is the pomegranate. It's just so loaded with so many vitamins and so many minerals and so antioxidant. It's the healthiest thing. It's tasty, it's delicious, it's beautiful. Grows here in the Middle East. It's a biblical food. It's considered one of the 7 foods, biblical foods of Israel, that happens to be very, very healthy as well. Pomegranate juice, great to drink. And we're going to talk about that when we talk about juices. And again, just to review from last week, fermented foods are also extremely healthy to help build up our immune system and get rid of the bad bacteria and replace it with the good bacteria. We've done many discussions on the microbiome and how we can help our own digestive systems by eating properly. And including in that eating properly is eating fermented foods. Because what they do is they put the good bacteria back into your system and it influences metabolism and puts your body straight again after we've, again, come in contact with all kinds of chemicals and toxins in the air and in our world. And also antibiotics, which we can't live without. We can't live without antibiotics and medications, but they do wreak havoc on certain people's digestive system and on their immune system, knocks the bacteria, the microbiome balance out of whack, and we want to put that back into its proper proportion, which is good bacteria should be overrunning the body, not the bad bacteria. So these fermented foods do that. We talked about that last week. Kimchi, pickles, yogurt, sauerkraut, kefir. So you can pickle just about anything. Look at the corn there, anything, hot peppers, carrots. It's a really wonderful thing you can do. It's a project you can do with your kids. I'm not going to do any kind of discussions or demonstrations on how to do these things because there's so many beautiful YouTubes out there. So go get on the YouTube. And if you want to start doing some pickling of your own and fermenting food on your own, it's a great project. And it lasts so long on your shelf. It's better than buying stuff in a can. And it's healthier all the way around. And you're so proud of yourself and make a delicious additive to your dinners. Sauerkraut, of course, is the best. I grew up with that. Kombucha, which is fermented tea drink. It's full of antioxidants. It kills harmful bacteria. It makes and it also helps regulate blood glucose. So it's great for diabetics, and it's also very heart healthy. And we talked about sprouts last week. Sprouting, taking a seed and sprouting it, putting it in a little paper towel that's moistened or a little jar that's moistened, and just putting seeds in there. And of course, you're going to have sprouted vegetables or beans of any kind, whatever you have, mung beans or sunflower seeds or broccoli or whatever seed you put in there, potatoes, anything. You can sprout anything just about. And sprouts are very, very healthy because they're the most nutritious of their level of the foods, and they contain lower levels of anti-nutrients. It makes it really easy for your body to absorb. And you can do any grain, any legume, any vegetable seed and sprout it. It's the most healthy thing you can do. And it's pretty good on the digestion because, like I said, it's pre-digested already in the sense that the body doesn't have to work too hard to digest it. And I mentioned last week that my friend Shlomo Feuerstein has a whole factory of gluten-free products. He calls it pat shachrit. It's in Israel. He makes sprouted organic foods, breads, crackers, seeds. He makes drinks. He makes the kombucha, organic oats here. And if you're gluten-free, it says here it's not for celiac consumption, but the truth is he just puts that as a warning for people just to be very, very careful about what you want to eat. But this is an example of beautiful sprouted bread. So it starts off as sprouts, and you bake it and add any kind of seeds to it or salt, or try not to put sugar probably, but raisins, whatever you want to put, and bake it. And you can make a beautiful bread that's gluten-free, but buy it from Shlomo. These are his crackers. They're so unbelievably delicious. And he makes a drink called Rejuvelec, which is very good at normalizing the digestion. And it's just live probiotics. Probiotics, we know, help also put the body back into its normal balance of good bacteria to bad bacteria. That's what these sauerkrauts and the other fermented foods do too. So Rejuvelec is a drink that you drink every single day if you really feel like you have to take some time out to focus on the digestion and focus on the immune system. Rejuvelec is your drink, and Shlomo sells that too. But today I wanted to talk about microgreens before I get into my juicing, because microgreens are all part of this continuum of how to choose really healthy whole foods for ourselves. So they kind of were introduced in California, the restaurant scene in the 1980s, and they've steadily gained a lot of popularity. And they're aromatic and they're beautiful, and they're known as micro herbs or micro vegetable confetti. I know I put them into my salad. Like sometimes we'll make a whole salad out of microgreens. So what are microgreens anyway? They're young vegetable greens that are very, very small, like 1 to 3 inches tall. They have an aromatic flavor, and they have real concentrated nutrient content. And so that's why it's very healthy to eat, because it's like fresh from the garden almost, even if you don't get it for a few days. We have a lot of local growers here that I feature people that are growing all these different things. So I'll put on the sidebar. Ben's Farm has them. Shlomo sells them. There are people that make them in their homes. You should just look into the local growers yourselves. It helps support them, but also it's so worth whatever they charge, because you open this little container up and it's fresh vegetables. They're so delicious, and they're the most tender shoots of the plant. Okay, now they shouldn't be confused with sprouts. They're not sprouts. They kind of fall somewhere between sprouts and a baby green. They call them baby greens. Microgreens are similar to the baby greens, and their stems are long, and everything's edible. That's what's so good about them. Everything is, and you have to eat them pretty much right away. You can't leave them in the store for too long. So anyway, these plants can be bought whole, and then they cut them down and package them in such a way that they make it to the store and make it to you before they sort of start to deteriorate, decompose. But they're very convenient to grow on your own. You can make these, and again, I'm not going to make any videos about this. There's a million videos out there. I would never be so bold as to say, I know how to grow microgreens. I know how to eat microgreens. I like to do that. And there's a friend of mine who grows them in his house, and I just can't wait until Friday when he delivers them and brings them all over the place. And or I meet him somewhere and he gives me 4 containers full. I love it. And they're just so nutritious. And he makes them from every single possible plant. So where there's broccoli, microgreens, and there's kale, and there's radish, and some of them are very hot and peppery. Some of them are very mild. But boy, do they make a delicious addition to my dinner. So in summary, microgreens are young vegetable greens that fall somewhere in between the sprouts and the baby leaves. And there's different types of microgreens, like I mentioned. There's cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, watercress. That watercress is the mild one. It's delicious. You can get lettuce, endive, chicory, radicchio, dill, carrot, fennel, celery, garlic, onion, leeks, quinoa, Swiss chard, beet and spinach, microgreens. You can do all these. You can grow microgreens. It's like but the difference between sprouts and microgreens are the way that they're grown. So don't confuse them. They're not the same thing. So microgreens are grown in the soil. And then when they become evident that they're just sprouting, I shouldn't say sprouting, they're just peeking out from the soil, that's when you cut them. And they're very, very tender and very delicious and full, like extra nutrient densely packed, much more so than if you wait till the whole plant grows. So the microgreens are grown in soil, and sprouts germinate in water. The leaves and the stems of microgreens can be eaten, and the seeds of the sprouts can be eaten. Microgreens take a couple weeks longer to grow. Sprouts don't take as long. Sprouts sprout within 24 hours, and you have to be careful not to let them go. Sprouts, I have made a lot. I could make a video on sprouts. I make my own sprouts a lot. And they'll within 24 hours, you have sprouting occurring, and you have to be very careful that they don't get overly watered. They're underly watered, and you have to watch it daily, but you have to eat them pretty quickly or they become bitter. So microgreens are packed with flavor, and they're packed with vitamins and nutrients, and I just encourage everybody should eat them. And if they're grown in your area, go ahead and get some. Now, these are the sprouts. They're mostly seeds. There's little offshoots of the seeds, and these are the microgreens that are grown in soil, and they're picked at very, very early ages, very early stages. And again, the sprouts are grown pretty much in air. It's almost hydroponic. You can put them in a paper towel. You can put them in a jar with a little bit of water moisture. You have to watch it. You soak them. Then you let them dry out for a day. There's a little bit of a process, but it's really easy. Again, but these are not grown in soil. But they have very similar health benefits. So I just wanted to point that out before we get into our juice lecture. So juicing, let's talk about juicing, because I have a great guest coming up. She is a juice maven. Maven in Israel, or in Hebrew, means somebody who's a real expert. Her name is Leah Mitnick. She's coming up soon. So you remember that commercial about buying V8 juice? It's like, hey, I could have had a V8. This is after somebody had maybe an orange juice, or they had even a soda or something like that. They were thinking, why didn't I eat healthier? I could have had a V8. That was a very famous commercial back in America when I was a kid. And, because we forget to eat healthy sometimes, and we forget that some things are actually available to us that are healthier choices. This is a healthier choice over sodas for sure. The problem with this V8 juice that I always had a little problem with is that it was loaded with sodium. So if anybody has high blood pressure, or if anybody has to be on a sodium-free diet, it wasn't going to be good. And that's, those are definitely the people you wanted to target to ask to actually get them to encourage them to drink these healthy juices, because they're full of antioxidants, right, and micronutrients, right. So help fight free radicals in the body. But on the other hand, if it's so full of sodium, you can't drink it. That's a shame. I think they did it because they have a lot of celery in it, which I'll talk about later. But also, that's a preservative. Salt is always a preservative. You have to worry about that with some fermented foods as well. Okay, so what is juicing anyway? Juicing, I've been hearing about juicing since the 1970s. I had a lot of friends that I used to call them sort of sprout heads. We used to laugh at people who are healthy. Can you imagine? I'm so ashamed of myself now because, of course, I'm a very healthy-minded person now. And so are my kids. Thank God. They're even healthier than me. But I can just tell you, I wasn't like eating junk food day in and day out. Oh, thank you, Susan. Lewis says there's a V8 on the market that's sodium-free. Yay, finally. That's fantastic. Thank you for that, Susan. Okay, so juicing was something that my friends were doing, my Sprout Head friends, and they were eating organic everything, and they're eating vegetarian and vegan, and I just thought they were just a little crazy. But of course, now we're all waking up to the fact that these people were on the right track all along. We should have been eating our greens all along, drinking our juices all along, eating fresh whole foods all along, no processed foods. Okay, so here we are now, a little Johnny come lately, as they say, but I've been coming over the years to healthier eating, thank God. And juicing is something that I've always been very curious about, and I would try on and off over the years, but I felt like it was a lot of work, and I felt like it was very expensive to get the organic stuff and whatever. To that, people would say to me, you could pay now or you could pay later. So that's actually a good point to consider. You could pay now by buying organic vegetables and fruits and make these really yummy juices that are packed with nutrients and give a wonderful boost to your day and health. Or you can pay later if you have diabetes and hypertension and you end up in the hospital. God forbid. But, I think that they had a point when they said something like that. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about juicing before we get to Leah, who makes the juices. We know we can get mega amounts of micronutrients in juices. And thanks to the V8 people, they kind of woke us up to that fact. We knew it already. Our grandparents knew it, but we have to be reminded of all kinds of things. Iron, calcium, phosphorus, fiber, and much, much more. And we need them, and we're keeping track of it, though, is very difficult. Like they tell us to eat so many servings of vegetables a day, according to the American, I don't even know who's on charge of that anymore, but I'm going to think of it in a minute. The Dietary Council of America, they say you have to have 3 servings of fruits and 7 servings of vegetables and fruits together. It's really hard for us to do. But if you drink juices, you can really actually get it into your system much better. So juicing has the ability to provide the body with a healthy source of all the vitamins and minerals you need that you can't always possibly eat. Maybe you don't have time to sit down and eat a whole thing. Maybe you don't have the ability to prepare salads and things like that. That would be a lot of work and a lot of time-consuming thing. And if you're on the run, juices are for you. It's a fun way to incorporate them into your diet. And you're going to get other things too, like vitamin C, vitamin A, potassium, vitamin K, folate, calcium. It goes on. The list of vitamins in fruits and vegetables is just endless, almost. So what else is good about juicing? Vegetable juice makes absorbing nutrients much more efficient. So if you have a poor digestion, or even if you have a good digestion, your body doesn't have to work very hard to digest all the fruits and vegetables you might want to eat. And it's better than a pill because it's getting your source naturally. Now, there are some great vegetable and fruit pills out there, by the way. And there's a great company in Israel that I was trying to promote for a while, but it was just, I wasn't getting people to really buy it. So I just stopped. But I never thought it was a bad product. It just was very expensive and it was hard for people to maintain. But, and other reasons too. But in a juice form, your body can absorb all the nutrients readily. So that means if you eat a whole thing of broccoli, that's great. But if you don't have time for that, or if it fills you up too much, have a glass of any kind of green juices are great for digestion. I'll talk about that in a minute. But you want to pick a juice that's good for you and get it into a daily routine. It's just so healthy. So you get your vitamins in a natural form. Your hair and your skin will reap the benefits of it because you're getting such beautiful nutrients to the skin right away. Right away. You don't have to wait for the digestion to occur 12 hours later or something like that. You will see an improvement in acne. You'll see an improvement of this is getting more vitamins into the system, and it's much more fun and a practical way, to get if you're trying to get mega vitamins into your system. It can combat aging. It's supposed to help with skin health on that level too. It's antioxidant. Most of these things are antioxidants, so it helps clear the free radicals away from your skin and helps improve your skin appearance. and give it more vitality and elasticity and all the things we're looking for when we're getting older. You can get lots of hydration with a lot of juices. So if you're dehydrated, you can't drink a lot of water. Drinking juice along with that will give you not only your nutrients and your vitamins and your greens, but you will get a lot of hydration as well. So like I said, the complexion helps out. It helps your complexion, gets it clearer. There's a great potential for weight loss as well, because these juices are very, very filling. And if you're going to fill yourself up on a juice, I'm not saying you should go on a juice fast. That's a whole different topic. I don't discuss that so much because I'm not an expert in that. But there are people that go on juice fasts. They go on cleansing juice fasts. And there's a little bit of a debate on what's really cleansing and what's not. You know, we have organs of cleansing in our body. We have our liver. We have our liver to cleanse everything for us, and our kidneys, the filter. But sometimes it does need a little extra help. And I did a whole webinar on cleansing and how the benefits of it and the dangers of it. And yeah, once in a while, it's great to take a couple of days off and drink nothing but juices. It really helps kind of what I say, reset the system. And Leah, when I interview her soon, she calls it a reboot, which is a really nice way of putting it too. You give your body a chance to quiet down a little bit and not work so hard digesting a lot of other, let's say you're not eating good foods. Let's say you're eating a lot of processed stuff or even a lot of meats, which is not bad, but your body needs time to eliminate it and to process it and get rid of it. Going on a juice cleanse or fast for a few days is a very, very healthy thing to do. And it can't be done on a permanent basis, obviously. But, you know, while you're making your routine of getting your cup of coffee and whatever else you're going to have, maybe you don't want to have time for breakfast. Maybe you could drink a juice instead. That's a great, easy way to get your vitamins into your system. And you can buy B vitamins, all the things you need. You can just select the fruits that you want and the vegetables you want to give you the nutrition that you need. And you can make it tailor-made to each person. That's what I love about it, too. So we also know vegetables and fruits have a lot of anti-inflammatory properties. That is, of course, the whole idea of eating antioxidant too. Antioxidants get rid of the free radicals that increase inflammation in our body. So people who have irritable bowel syndrome or people that have autoimmune conditions, chronic headaches, chronic migraines, these people have an inflammatory process, arthritis. We have inflammatory processes that don't bother us most of the time, but when it turns into a medical issue, there's probably a good time. Yeah, this is in Israel, Batya. You can go www.Mitz-Chai.com. You're going to meet Leah in a minute. You can call her. You can get on her website and arrange something. She delivers everywhere. Okay, so juice drinking. You already got the idea. Juice is a good way to go, especially healthy juices. They tell you to eat. If you want to make up your own juices, again, this is not a video on how to. This is a video just explaining that. People might want to buy a very good juicer. It's a much more economical way to go about it. But you want to go have a certain formula. You want to pick out the fruits and vegetables that are really going to benefit you the best. But you want to have something sweet and something bold and something neutral. And by picking some things from each category, you'll get so many of the vitamins and nutrients you need. So you can look up on each one. What does an apple give you? What does a beet give you? What does a carrot give you? What does grapes? What does cranberry? Whatever it is you want to replace in your body, you'll pick from these categories, and you'll have a delicious drink every single day. Again, we talked about this before too. If you eat according to colors, it's interesting, but this is the way God made the world for us. We can make identifications this way. White, anything white helps your immune system. And by the way, that's in regular, just scientific studies. Anything you eat, like kohlrabi, mushrooms, onions, cauliflower, garlic, those things are all they're anti-inflammatory, but also help the immune system very much so. And in Chinese medicine, every organ system has a color that's associated with it, and the lung and the large intestine have the color white associated with them. So anything you eat that's white, we're going to help your large intestine and your lung health, which is your immune system too. In both situations. Yellow rich foods are known to lower your cholesterol. They're heart healthy. They help your joints. Red foods are heart healthy also, and they're antioxidant. We talked about this before. Quercetin is a pill that people are taking now a lot because of Corona, COVID. So it helps build up healthy blood vessels and helps prevent illness. And it's all the red foods that you can eat, like the peppers and the tomatoes. Again, not everybody can eat peppers. Not everyone can eat tomatoes. It just has to do with what you can eat in your diet. The purple foods, they're heart healthy also with the blood vessels and help with memory. The green vegetables will protect your stomach and help with your skin and bones. So these are one of the many reasons to choose these for your juices. Okay, so before we get to the celery juice and my interview, so you can, again, dramatically increase. If you really want to go on a full blast health kick, you might want to do juicing for a while. Because as we mentioned, you can really build up your immune system. You can improve your memory. You can increase your energy. It can improve your sex drive. It can improve your digestion and elimination, which Leah will talk about. And so this is all from juices. And it gets me very excited about it. I got she gave me a free sample because I was introducing her on the show on her reboot program, which I talk about in the interview. You can lose weight. It would be great because if you're full from vegetables, you're not going to get the cravings for sweet stuff. And again, so you're going to worry about just a few things with juicing, not too much really. There's very little downside to juicing. You'll get your veggies. Your kids won't argue about it because they'll get delicious drinks. You'll know you're doing something really good for your health. So you want to know, can you get all your fruits and vegetables by juicing? Not necessarily, but you can get most. You really can. It depends on what you need. Some people need more magnesium. Some people need more vitamin B to help them with their nervous system or whatever. So you have to go maybe be tested to see what you're deficient in. That's always a good way to start. So is there any bad side to juicing? It's not really black and white. It really can't replace whole foods and vegetables because fruits and vegetables have fiber, and we need fiber to move our food down the system. So we do know that we have to also eat vegetables. You can't just live on vegetable juices. We are asked, does it prevent cancer? Does it prevent blood pressure? Anything that claims to prevent, you want to stay away from that. I have even a slideshow here that I just feel like, I don't know why I put that up there, but I feel like nothing prevents really cancer. Nothing prevents illness. Nothing prevents, what we can do is get ourselves in a healthy situation so we're fighting it off better and our bodies are in better condition to handle whatever comes our way. So when you say something's heart healthy, yeah, it is good for your health. It doesn't necessarily prevent heart disease or high blood pressure. I just want to talk specifically about two different kinds of juices, and then we'll bring Leah. So what I like about celery juice, look at all the benefits of this. It aids the digestion. This is what I like, aids. It is antifungal. It is antioxidant. It can be a good diuretic if you have to make sure you want to just get a little bit of extra water weight. It's full of folate, potassium, fiber, manganese, vitamin B, copper, which is good for skin and health, vitamin B6, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, vitamin A, vitamin K. Okay, it can lower your blood pressure. It really, that one much we do know. The Chinese medicine, people have been recommending that for years, so it can help lower your blood pressure. It might have a little bit of sodium in it, but you have to realize it's natural sodium, so it doesn't really interfere too much with blood pressure and things. It does support heart health. Supports it. I like that. Then we talk a little bit about beet juice, which is also a very big craze right now. It says reduces blood pressure. Okay, it may not reduce your blood pressure, but it is very heart healthy because it's antioxidant, okay? And it does support the blood vessel system. So anytime you have a strong blood pressure system, blood vessels in your body, that is if you have strong blood vessels, you're going to have more oxygen flow to the body and more healing. This is really what it boils down to. So that it prevents strokes. I'm sorry I chose this slide after I put it up. It will help you. It's got a little bit of a a blood thinning effect to it, so you have to be careful about blood thinners. So therefore, it can help if prevent strokes in that regard. It does help you regulate the digestive system. It helps metabolism, and it helps regulate blood sugar as well. So you just know that beet juice is one of the healthiest things you can. I don't think it prevents anything. I think it just helps build up the body to be in the healthiest state. So Susan, have I tried to change my diet? Yeah, I change all the time. Stomach bloating, I'm going to let Leah talk about that. I want to talk about enemas another time. Enemas they can be a good part of a cleansing system, but it's something if you've done regularly, it's very damaging to the body because you can just rid the body of all the good nutrients that you have. And you're going to have to just put them back in again, and you can be dehydrated as well. All right, so those are the benefits of juicing, and I thank you for standing by with my long-winded explanations. But Leah, I talked to her yesterday. She wasn't able to join us live, but she's able to join us now or on the recording. So listen to what she has to say and buy her juices. She has a company called Mitz-Chai, and so she will tell us how she got into juicing and why she feels the benefits of juicing are the only thing that helped her get well. Okay. So now that we've talked about microgreens and the benefits of eating healthy live plants, on a micro level, after your micro level, your body, and your macro level of your body. We want to talk about juicing, and we talked a bit about the benefits of juicing. To bring in a real expert on, bringing in Leah Mitnick of Fermented Foods, Israel. Hi, Leah. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Yehudis.
Okay, so I'm so thrilled to have you. So you are the juice expert. You are the queen of juicing in Fermented Foods, and you're making people healthy one juice bottle at a time. And I want you to tell us all about why you got into juicing, how you got into juicing, and what you have a business. It's called Mitz-Chai, correct? Mitz-Chai, it's a beautiful name. And even for people who aren't Jewish, who are watching, by the way, I get about 100 people watching a week, and many of them are from out of Israel. And so I like to define the Jewish terms. And Chai means to life, or living, or vibrancy. So it's a beautiful, beautiful name you chose for your company. And so tell us about juicing and what does it mean to you and how you got started. And then we'll talk about your business.
Okay, good. So I'm 46 years old. I am from Sydney, Australia. And I came to Israel when I was 17. And I got married, a few years later. And I moved back to Canada, I moved back, out of Israel to Canada, which my husband's from Canada. He lived in Toronto. And we made Aliyah 7 years ago. And after a very difficult Aliyah, I got sick with colitis, and which is an autoimmune disease. And I was very, very unwell with that. And that's really how I became connected to juices. So I started studying. I was a stay-at-home mother for close to 20 years. And I recently, in the last 5 years, I went back to study. I went back to learn reflexology. And so it's been a whole journey for me for my recovery. The reflexology was fantastic for me, very helpful, but it wasn't fully healing my condition. And I went to see Neely Grutman in Yerushalayim. She's a fantastic holistic nutritionist, and she put me on to juice.
Let me just tell you that Neely, I've been doing this little program, 1 hour a week, Wellness Wednesdays. Been doing it for going on 2 years, and Neely was my first guest.
Wow. Okay.
Look back on the YouTube channel. You'll see she was my first guest. So you can look back on that. Go ahead. Tell us how we helped you.
So she really guided me with producing, and I was in a very difficult situation then. I couldn't leave the house for long periods of time. And I'll never forget. Like, I went to the doctor, and the medicines weren't helping me. I had medium to severe colitis, and I said to him, "Is there anything I should be eating? Because I'm finding like foods are triggering me." And he said, "No, eat whatever you like. Just take the medicine." And the medicines just simply, they just weren't working for me. And once I really started to take the protocol from Neely much more seriously, that's when my healing began. And now it's been 9 months of no medicine. I have all my blood work is clear, Baruch Hashem. I'm very, very grateful. And I'm healthy.
Protocol? Can you share the protocol that was in addition to the juicing?
So it was really like, I wouldn't say like what she gave me. She really introduced me to juicing, green juices. And I had to really kind of work on the food part myself, because it was a lot of trial and error.
Well, it's individualized. Everybody's an individual, and I know that one diet doesn't fit all. I'm just curious if there are people that are watching now would just love to know what else to do besides juices.
I'll tell you what I did, which was amazing. Okay, I cut out all dairy. I cut out all meat. I can't eat flesh anymore. No meat. And for a period of time, I was juicing. Like a few days a week, I was doing just juices, and I was keeping to a vegetarian diet. And I would say when I was strict about it, within a few months, I was better.
Did you eat grains?
I eat now. I eat sprouted spelt, and like I'm now at the point where I'm Baruch Hashem, I'm not 100% strict about it, but I would say I'm 90% strict about it. Sometimes I do nosh, but but my blood work has been fine. I feel fantastic. I have my juices. I don't have to be as rigorous as I used to be, but I try to have a green juice a day most days of the week. And I mean, I work in Pupa 3 days a week. I have a very busy schedule, and I'm not. I mean, this is before I could leave the home. I was so sick, you know. So I'm very and now, like, you know, I got very into juicing, and somehow word of mouth, people came to me with different conditions. I started juicing for people with digestive issues, and from there, I started learning about natural juice therapy. I certified with Joe Cross, who's like an amazing resource. There's 2 resources that I recommend if anyone's interested in juicing, anyone has chronic illness. It's Joe Cross. He has a documentary called Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, which is amazing. He's taking the world by storm, this man. And another man called Jason Vale, and he's got a documentary called The Juicy Oasis. So
The Juice Oasis.
The Juicy Oasis. The Juicy Oasis.
And then I'll make sure it's on the, this is a pre-recorded interview, but when we're live, I'll make sure it's on the chat bar too. So thank you for sharing that. It'll be very helpful for people to know. It's important that we help each other heal, you know? Yeah. So, okay, so then you started a business.
We started a business, and it's just morphed into this amazing experience where I've had, like, you know, I've just been very blessed. I feel like people are really looking for help. And it's a very simple solution for so many people. Like, chronic constipation is my biggest taker, the green juices. And we see like results in a very short time. We see, and it's amazing. It's amazing to be part of it. It's amazing to be able to help people in this way.
So you're saying that you have a protocol. Let's say if somebody comes to you with a chronic constipation, or they get digestive issues, or any autoimmune, maybe even skin issues or whatever they can't get rid of, can't help with other things they've tried. You're saying they should take a juicing routine, or they should do every day, or like how do you know what to recommend for them, and how
right.
they, yeah.
On the age of the person, you can hear me now.
No, yes, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Depending on the age of the person, young people. Generally, I find it much quicker to heal. Like, say, for people who've had, like, after birth, it's, you know, we add juices. I told them to cut out dairy if they're really into it. And you know, the best way to do it, the best way to heal the body is a program that it's really Joe Cross's program, and I've adapted it to the religious community. It's called Reboot. And it's amazing. I recommend it for anybody who wants to just, you know, deal with chronic issues or just general cleaning of the body. It's a very gentle. It's a gentle detox. It's very doable, very manageable, and I've seen amazing results. Like people even with chronic migraines after 5 days of juicing with food. It's a program that's a 15, ideally a 15.
And who is Leah?
We have
Leah.
5 days.
What does she do?
2 juices a day with plant-based meals is the whole program. And then people who have more chronic conditions or are looking to do more of a cleanse move on to, you know, a 1 day just juice only up to 10 days, depending on their condition. And then we transition back into food. Very gentle. I'm not into anything extreme.
You know, I agree with you, and I say regularly on this program that cleansing is not for everybody. These extreme cleanses where you lay on the floor every morning and do coffee enemas and you only eat, you know, juices, only juices in the wintertime when your body doesn't even adapt to cold food so much. It's not for everybody. It's not for the elderly. It's not for the weak and conditioned person. But we should learn how to, my philosophy is that we should learn how to cleanse on a daily basis. So keep it a regular cleanse, like eating clean, if they say. Something that's like term that's thrown around, but it's so true that if you eat clean foods, or if you're having a juice a day, let's say, just as part of your regular diet, isn't that beautiful for your body to just have those vitamins that it's absorbed immediately into your system? They don't have to bother going through the whole digestive process of breaking down like a pill does. Or I've tried all different juicing programs. There's I won't say what the name of them, but some of them are pills, and they are they're really harsh on the body for some reason. I don't understand, but people say I'm included. I have a very what I call a cast iron stomach. Nothing bothers me, but supplements do. Like if I take a lot at once, and also there's juice pills. Are like, oh my God, I can't even get through the day. I'm nausea all day. A juice I can do. A juice I'm drinking, and it's absorbed immediately. And no matter what condition your digestion is in, it'll get absorbed pretty much. You know, pills can be just excreted right out of your body. And all those beautiful supplements, I say this every week, all those supplements that you're taking, the irons and the zinc and the vitamin D's and the vitamin C's and quercetin and selenium, it's all going out of your body if you don't have good digestion. It is. So start with these juices. But okay, I'm going to sell you juices. You tell me now. I'm excited for you because you're going to heal the world. And I love it. I think it's so simple. It's so, like I said, it should be done every day. And not wait till you have such a bad shape in your life where you're like, I got to cleanse, I got to extreme myself out of reality. You know, no, do it while you're just going to school and going to work every day. It makes much more sense. And then, okay, so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So tell us.
That's great.
Yeah, so tell us how your business is going and how people like, what do you offer them? What kind of packages do you offer them?
Yes. So some weeks we sell more than 250. Most weeks really it's more than 250 500 ml bottles. So I'll show you some. I have some. Oh, here's an example of a green juice. I have my orange juice. Orange vision is carrot, orange ginger.
Okay, can you just stop a minute and tell me the ingredients in the green and the ingredients in the orange?
Okay. So apple, celery, cucumber, lemon, ginger, spinach.
Why that combination? Just take a minute to tell me that. Why that combination and what does it do for you?
Okay. So this green juice is fantastic for people with digestive issues who, you know, it's really fascinating. People, you know, you go to the doctor if you have constipation and the doctor says, eat more fiber. Now, many people come to me and say, I eat so much fiber, I drink so much water, I'm still constipated. I don't know what's wrong with me. So it's really interesting because the juices, they don't have the insoluble fiber. They just have soluble fiber. But they work beautifully to help the body flush out because
that particular combination of green juices with the apple and the, what is in there? The apple and
it's spinach. So all my juices are 25% fruit and 75% vegetable.
Oh, okay.
Because
they're
a lot of
soluble fiber that way.
A lot of soluble fiber. And a lot of people have impaired digestive systems today, and that's why they can't digest the fiber. So in terms of healing, this is fantastic for helping to heal. You're flooding the body with all the nutrients. The body, I'll just say one more thing about juicing, which is a very important point, is 15% of your body's energy goes towards digestion. And when you juice, you don't need to digest. Your body doesn't need to use that energy. So what you're doing if you're replacing a meal, you're flooding your body with all the vitamins and you're giving your body a break. All that extra energy goes towards healing in the body. And it really works. So you're flooding your body with spinach, with ginger, with lemon, with apple, with, celery, With Shemitah, we're a little bit more limited because we Baruch Hashem, we have the Badat Seder Haredas Kasha, which is amazing. They've been really supportive of the Badats, very helpful. But in Shemitah, we haven't been able to get kale and kale and spinach. We work a lot with celery, romaine, and those are our main greens, and cucumber.
And for those of the listeners who are living out of Israel, we have a special year where we are not allowed to grow the land. We're meant to leave it resting in fallow for a year to rest the land. And it's a biblical prohibition. We're not allowed to. So that's why it's difficult to get a hold of some of these things. And that's what she's referring to. So she's doing the best with what she can. And this is also very beneficial. So we probably would prefer kale, right? Or whatever you want to use. But, all of these pure vegetables really do help and cleanse and help rest the system. I wanted to ask you though, do you sell them by a package? Like you say, like here's when you said the different colored juices, like why the different why not green every day, or why not why do you have different offerings there?
So I have different packages. I have like the green juices, which I recommend for digestive issues, for constipation, for colitis, for Crohn's. And people with general IBS. And then I have packages for like just daily juice, which is great for immune boosters. So I have
what kind of juice?
I have yummy beets here, yummy beets
for immune boosting. Great, and we need that now with COVID.
Yeah, so fantastic for like I have cancer patients who are in treatment or in recovery, and they love the daily juices. Are very like gives people a lot of energy. It really feeds the body. But I really try to encourage people to do the reboot program because the basic reboot is 5 days. There's still food, there's still meals, but I have to say I've seen like people with chronic migraines after the 5 days, if they continue to like eat healthy, like I have a client who a few months later she hasn't had a migraine since. These are fantastic. I mean, that's someone who she didn't just do the program and start going back. She kept on like eating healthier, and it's really helped her. The green juices are fantastic for sugar stabilization. Okay, I have people with diabetes. I had one lady who she had a lap band surgery. After the lap band surgery, her sugar started going crazy, very high, very low. She's driving, all of a sudden she can't, she nearly passes out. And after doing the juices for a few weeks, she says instead of having like a few of these episodes a day, she's had 2 in 1 week, which is amazing, so it's very powerful.
What I say too is that I'm a nurse of many, many years. I'm an anesthetist also, giving anesthesia for 30 years. And I moved into the alternative world slowly. I'm a big believer in acupuncture, for instance, and I help people a lot with acupuncture for migraines and all this insomnia and all these chronic illnesses, which is why I was drawn to it, because I could see clearly for years that medicine wasn't helping people enough. That surgery, medicine, and medicine and surgery, there's something more we can offer people. And when I started looking into it, I looked into things like this juicing things first before I even retrained myself. But what I was going
I turned it off. Didn't mean to.
to say is that I tell people all the time, I can give you all the acupuncture every day, and that what acupuncture does is it moves around the energy and the vitality of your body to get it to heal itself. But if you don't also do something on your own to work on healing, it's just moving around what's already there, and that's great. But you need more. You need more of a food, or you need the better foods, or you need more supplements, or you need vitamins, or something that's going to help increase the healing process, because acupuncture really moves around what's there. It's not adding to your body. We're telling your body to wake up and heal. That's great. But if you're a person who's got a little bit of a weakened condition, it's really not enough. Not enough. So these juices fills the bill for me. I would think it's amazing. I also use herbal medicines, but they're very similar kind of concept. You want to feed the body something more nutritious and something more that can work in conjunction with other healing, like the reflexology, like the acupuncture. It's just not enough. You have to do a whole program, and people have to take responsibility for their own health too. So that's another topic which I did talk about. Let me ask you, how about for kids? Do you see kids coming to you?
I haven't had kids coming to me yet. No, I haven't. I mean, my kids are very into it. Yes, there are some who are into it more than others, but I would love it to be able to, and the truth is I do have families, like I have a family that buys, 40 juices a week, and she said her kids are young, and she's starting young, like my kids are already deep. I think it's amazing. Beautiful. To be able to start young with children is fantastic. Fantastic.
It is. It's wonderful. It is great. So if people want to reach you, will you give them a consultation on the phone, or do you come to you in person? Because there might be people from a different part of Israel that might want to call you. Would that work? Would you be able to get juices to them, or?
I'm working on it. I'm definitely working on it. I'm working on delivery to different parts of Israel. Right now, we've been delivering to Yerushalayim, to Beitar,
and
in Beit Shemesh. But I would like to branch out. I have very high hopes for it. I hope we could even get into the Kuppah, to the healthcare system, and I'm really hoping that it will take off in a bigger way.
Well, me too, because I think what you're doing is invaluable. It's invaluable, and you don't even probably realize the gift that you are giving to the world. And at the same time, making a business for your home and supporting your family is amazing as well. It's always a great thing if you can support your family on something that's really such a gift to the world. So I just want to really thank you for joining me, and I'm going to put on the sidebar all your details. And I want you to know, people, that I'm in the middle of the reboot program, and I would say this, people are tired of hearing this, but I'm an older lady who's so, Baruch Hashem, and thank God, I'm so healthy, a little overweight, but otherwise, great. And my blood pressure's good. I'm not on any medications. I don't have constipation, none of that stuff. And I'm so lucky because I can actually abuse myself still. And not like my body doesn't feel it yet. I'm a little tired, more tired than usual because I'm a very energetic person. But I see myself slowing down just a drop. But I wish I had those warning signs, that said, oh my gosh, don't eat this food. It gives you inflammation, gives you diarrhea. But anyway, since being on these juices, I feel really even better than I usually feel. I feel very, very active and very, very healthy. And I feel like this is a great way to go, even if you don't have problems. Just telling you from my point of view, thank God, I have nothing happening at the moment. But as I get older, the chances are something could, whatever, go wrong. Whatever God wants for me, I don't know. But I don't want to invite something into it. So why don't I just get better care of myself now? And part of that is taking these juices on a regular basis. And I'm so grateful that you are my neighbor, so I can come to you regularly. And thank you so much for that. I really feel very, very energetic and great from these juices. So far, so good.
Thank you for having me, Yehudis.
Thank you so much. And everybody, hopefully, will contact you and get your expertise spread out to the world. It'll be even better than it is now. Thank you so much. Have a great, wonderful day. Happy day. Happy Hanukkah.
I'm going to say something here. Okay, so that was Leah, and I was trying to put her website up, but I couldn't because it would turn off the video. So here it is right here, www.Mitz-Chai.com. Contact Leah, and we'll see you next week on Wellness Wednesdays. And this is Yehudis Schamroth. Have a wonderful, happy, healthy week. Thanks for joining me.